we're in the entrance to a new lock. This is a new line that's going to hopefully join Stafford to the canal network. I'm on the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, and we're not here for this canal, we're here for something else. Now, the first clue to why we're here is actually just here, and you can just see the starts of an old bridge abutment, which no longer is a bridge. Now, once upon a time, this was quite a busy area. I mean, it's still busy now, and there was an arm going in there as well. There was once a much bigger arm, and that ran down through here. Now, the canal never actually ran to Stafford. It ran about 1.5 miles away from the town, which is just in that direction over there. Now, they had goods they needed to bring in and out to the Staffordshire and Worcestershire. So they originally built a tramway. The tramway didn't prove to be too successful. It was a bit of a nightmare, really, transhipping goods and taking them across. So a link was proposed. And the idea of the link was to drop down from here to the river and down through the canalised river into the town. Now, for some time, there's been a group working here with no funding whatsoever, just with the support of local businesses and volunteers to rebuild a link here. There's a spillway here now, and you can see the bridge abutments there. So the bridge would come across here, and the original line of the canal would have gone straight down through. But what they're building here now is a basin. Now, the basin is progressing very well, and hopefully the next year's job will be to build a bridge here. But let's hop down and have a look at what's going on. So just in front of us, they're shuttering in for the wall, which we'll get to in a second. And if you look down here, you've got what would be part of the original bridge abutment, I think. And then coming through to here, in that line, you can see one side of the bridge here as well. And you can see where it went off to the canal, to where we were just standing over there. So as we run down from the bridge, the canal would have originally have gone in this line here, not across the basin as it is now. So originally there was an aqueduct just up ahead of us here, and that went across the river, which was only like a small outlet at the time, then dropped down in a lock across the other side there. Now, the remaining parts of this can be seen in the brickwork here. So the brickwork, you can see there's a much newer engineering brick on the top, and the old wing walls for the aqueduct are below. That route isn't going to be taken anymore for various reasons. Let's have a little look down at the bottom. So I'm on a bridge above the Penk now. The aqueduct was here, and the old line of the Penk was just over there. There's a bridge sat in the middle of a field. The aqueduct would have run across here, from this point here, across to there, and then dropped down in the lock into the River Sow, which is just down there. This route is now going to be down through here, the lock over there and around down to there. But let's pop up back into the basin and have a look. So back up to the top of the old aqueduct now, and another little thing here as well. This pipe here just led on the side, and this has quite an interesting story as well. So years ago they found a source of brine in Stafford, and they built a well and pumped it out, and they used to pump it across, so the works across on the other side of the canal there, which was a salt works, and then they also pumped, it was teed, and they pumped to a Royal Bass as well, which was down that way somewhere. Unfortunately, in the 60s, they'd pumped so much out that the ground started collapsing and the prison walls fell down, which is something you don't want. So they stopped pumping the brine at that point, and that line was closed. Then on this side, this leads to what the new line is going to be. First of all, though, we've got a few things here. So again, on the wing wall on the other side, you've got the original wall just in there. And then on top, you can see the capping stones are granite, and that's all original. It's concreted in now. It's not left loose. Originally it was loose, but because this is a floodplain, this really needs to be sealed. And this does still flood up here sometimes because the other side there isn't finished. So the water comes back up and through in there. And then this leads on to Finney's Lock. Now, Finney's Lock is named after the landowner who started this project. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, but his widow continues to rent the land for £1 a year. So peppercorn rent for this. So the lock is named in his honour. And that lock is going to come out of this corner of the basin, to the opposite corner to the aqueduct over there, and take you down into the river. So the river is down here. You've got the River Penk now, which is a new route. This lock is going to run down. You can see the line of hedge that's been planted there. The lock's going to be here and drop into there, and then go around underneath the bridge and come back up into the sow. When I was here last, I didn't have access to the site, but they were concreting over here. It must have been a year and a half ago, and they've done this entire area. Now, this wouldn't have been possible without the support of local businesses.
All the cement for the whole basin has been donated by Breeden. A lot of the bricks and blocks have been donated by Hughes Gray of Stafford. We've had no end of help from different people. The local Titanic Brewery have helped us. Ibstock have donated us brick. Local companies have donated us diggers for days.
So the original 1816 link that was here wouldn't have come across into this big basin. This was a new thing because they want to be able to allow mooring in here for several reasons. One, we need more boat mooring on the network. Two, it becomes an income for this group to be able to carry on the work further down the canal into the river navigations. The original site here would have been a grass bank and it would have been much narrower here. But obviously now they've got this fantastic sort of wall all the way around, which gives plenty of mooring. Now, this project has used an incredible amount of concrete. We're talking 12,200 tonnes of concrete has gone into this. Now, that's necessary to seal this. This is on a floodplain, and the water table we don't want rising up through the canal and water leaking down into the rivers below. I know there's going to be a connection, but there's various environmental things that will happen for that. This seals this completely. And these slabs here, which are 5 by 3 metres wide, are huge. They're about 6 or 7 inches deep. Now, these need to be sealed as well. So you've got the joints here. These will be sort of raked out and sealed with a sealant that the Canal and River Trust approve. This stops any chemicals from leaching out into the water. Again, it's another environmental box ticked, and one that the groups doing these sort of things need to always be aware of. You can't just use any product. Now, these slabs aren't just concrete poured onto the ground, they are very well engineered. And we'll first take a look at the shuttering. So the shuttering here, you can see, is shaped. It's not just a flat piece. So what you've actually got is a tongue and groove. So if we go back to the slab, you can see it. So tongue and groove in the gap there. You then cast another concrete slab in there. That concrete slab has a rebar in, and that rebar joins up with these little tubes here. So when you put the next one in, you can put rebar into it and you create the reinforcement across multiple slabs. That also allows for some expansion, which isn't necessary when this is full up, because obviously the water will keep it to a stable temperature, but at the moment they need thermal expansion and contraction on this slab. So this rebar section and the sort of polystyrene bit in the middle there actually goes through the centre of this pad and then across it in a cross. So the expansion joint is in that section. Every other bit of this pad is done with the tongue and groove like that. So the latest project is the continuation of the wall. So the block wall's been continued. It will be topped in the same granite over here as well. And they're just backfilling at the moment into a shuttering. They need to have that wall complete and the wall over there before they can continue with the bases. But they need the bridge to go in as well, because without the wall, they haven't got the footings, and the actual slabs sit on top of the footings as well, which makes it a lot stronger. You can see this big tarp here. This is what they use to cover it. So when they cast, they shutter it all and they cast it, they put this over the top to keep it dry from rain.
We're hoping to start the bridge sometime next year. We should have started it really 2 years ago, but we had things like COVID which delayed us. We're now looking at hopefully having this basin in water. Originally I would have liked it by the end of next year, but we're probably looking at the end of the following year, 27.
So in the next couple of years, hopefully this will be full of water. There'll be boats mooring up in here. It'd be a fantastic area to explore and down to Stafford. But it would be so much better if you could get to Stafford itself on a boat. Now there's environmental concerns about the river. There's various things they're going to have to get over from there. From the dredging, which isn't going to be a bad thing. You clear that silt off the bottom of your channel and you expose a lot more habitat, because you'll get to the rocky bottom of the river. There's a chance that it could be raised slightly. That would make navigation a lot easier and a lot less dredging. The dredging is going to have to take place over a number of years. They won't be able to do it all in one go. You need to clear a section and then leave a section in. That allows the habitats to move and reform in other places. And then eventually when it's done, it'll go to a place called Greenbridge in Stafford. Now Stafford is a place, all the bridges are named after colours. And Greenbridge isn't quite as far as the original terminus basin, but that's where it'll go to now. And that's going to need a lot of support.
We always want more volunteers. I mean, we have the building gangs which organise themselves, as you can see today. And then we have the general work parties, which is the second Saturday of each month. And this work would have cost something like £1.5 million if we'd had it done by civil engineers. It's cost us somewhere about the region of 25,000. One thing I would like to add is we really do need more membership, because the more members we've got, the easier it is when you apply for large funding from the lottery and people, because they always say how many supporters we've got. And if we can show a nice fat membership list, it helps. Now, membership is only £10 a year for a single, £15 for a family, or £100 for life. But basically, just being a member will help this project progress.
So from a fantastic project, it's been completely volunteer-led. They've done an amazing job. Have a great day.